Starting, all attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey guys, we're just waiting for a few more here as people start to trickle in because we kind of had a bit of a time change issue there. So just bear with us.
Okay, hi everyone. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's doing well. Thanks for the time switch. Appreciate that. So I'm Emily Lusk, the head coach of our Dynamics Coach Training product, and I'm excited to be speaking with you all today about reporting in AX and D365. So I see a lot of folks who have attended a few of our other sessions, so welcome back. And to anyone new, welcome, and we'll be sending you some more information about some other free sessions that you can take advantage of. So looking at our agenda for today, we are going to talk a little bit about Dynamics Coach. We're going to look at AX 2009 reporting options, AX 2012 reporting options, D365 reporting options, and then what preparing for a D365 upgrade might look like for your reports. And we'll take a little bit of a look in D365 at that Power BI option. This session is a subset of an AXUG session that I'll be giving in Nashville on October 11th at 10:15 a.m. So if you're going to be attending AXUG and you're enjoying what we're talking about today, please come to that session. And during that, we'll be navigating more into these actual tools and digging a little deeper from what we're talking about today. So I am going to kick us off with a quick overview of Dynamics Coach and what it is and what we're doing. So with Dynamics Coach, Ellipse Solutions has been providing training to our customers during AX implementations, for years and years, and we really thought it was time to expand our training options. Purchasing an ERP is a major investment for a business, and we want to make sure everyone knows how to use it, all the tools, the pros and cons, so that you can make the best decisions for yourself. So Dynamics Coach is going to be offering training in a few ways. The first is to select from our out-of-the-box training. You can choose your curriculum from a list of topics that we've already created trainings for. There's about 35 classes available, covering everything from finance, software development, inventory warehouse management, sales, purchasing, master planning, projects, HR, and payroll. So pretty much covers everything except retail.
Hey, Emily.
Apologies. Yeah.
You share your screen, sorry.
So sorry, guys.
Perfect.
Okay, sorry about that. So the other option for you is you can opt for a personalized training. So this could be for a topic not included in our out-of-the-box curriculum list, or maybe you want us to further customize one of our out-of-the-box classes to include your business process and customizations that you've done. For either training option, you can take a more personal approach and have one of our coaches perform the training in person, or get the same great training with the convenience of being at your desk and use our virtual classroom option. So to learn more about each of our classes, please reach out to us or visit our website, and we'd be happy to talk you through that. We will be periodically hosting these mini trainings, kind of what we're doing today, to introduce users to popular or new topics in AX or D365. As I mentioned, this session is going to be given in greater depth at AXUG, and we will be hosting another free mini training on upgrading to D365 and a navigation tour of the system on October 5th. So look out for the registration emails. I think they're going to start coming after this session. So anyone that's interested, please feel free to take advantage. As we go through the presentation today, feel free to submit any questions that you may have into the questions box on your GoToWebinar, and we will try to get back to you by the end of the day today, if not by Monday. This really allows you to ask questions maybe specific to your company, so feel free to put them in there and we'll get back to you with an appropriate answer. So jumping right in now to our recording questions, we're going to take a poll, and our poll today is: what version of AX or D365 are you on? So the poll is open, looking to see how many of you are on 2009, 2012, either R2 or R3, or if you're lucky enough to already be upgraded and using D365 for operations. So it looks like about 85% of you have voted. We'll give this another 10 seconds. Put in your vote. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. Looks like 35% of you are on AX 2009, so we have lots to talk about for you today, as well as folks on AX 2012, about 25% on R2, 25% on R3, leaving about 17% of you in D365 for operations. So that's exciting, and that number continues to increase as we go month by month here. So that is awesome. So today what we're going to be doing is looking at each version of AX and talk about the available tools and when to use them. I want to start by saying there is no one reporting tool for all of your needs. So you need to look at your requirements as a business for reporting and intelligence and match those up with the available tools. I'm going to be mainly highlighting Microsoft tools and heavily used tools. There are many reporting products out there for you to purchase. But at the end of the day, you will need to understand these reporting functionalities that Microsoft has as part of your system to be able to appropriately choose any bolt-on products that you may be purchasing. Some third-party tools that we do recommend and have used with our customers, in case anyone is curious, we use Bartender for labels, Atlas for Excel integration, Zap is a great tool if you have large transactional data sets. Create Forms will allow you to make custom invoices, packing slips, picking slips, order forms, all those kind of things. And then Scribe for inbound and outbound data integrations. So just a few to mention there. As I said, there are many products, and you just need to find the right one for you if you feel you need to use a tool outside of the out-of-the-box tools. So starting off with 2009. So in 2009, the majority of programmed reports were done using X++. SSRS was newly introduced and makes up only about 10% of the out-of-the-box reports. So when you have the ability, especially since a lot of folks are using SSRS at this point, when you're developing an SSRS report in AX 2009, you can do it in AX with X++, and that's highly recommended because you can utilize existing methods already in AX. So what this means is AX already has unit of measure conversions, currency conversions, any of those methods built into the system. So when using SSRS in 2009, you can take advantage of those methods. If you opt to develop an SSRS report outside with SQL Server, you would need to recreate those methods in every report. So it becomes kind of time consuming and costly. So we do recommend kind of utilizing the X++ method options in your custom reports. One of the downsides to the few SSRS reports that are in 2009 is the option for dynamically selecting criteria and fields to add into the report. The functionality to do that doesn't appear until AX 2012. And what that functionality allows you to do is when you're selecting the report, you can add additional fields from tables that are related to, say, your payroll, and you want to add in an additional field to filter by, maybe state. It would let you go ahead and do that. That option's not in 2009 for you to do. So it's a little limiting and maybe an area where you need to add some customization. So the question really comes down to, which tool do you use to develop a report? SSRS, X++, kind of a combination. And the answer is really that either will work for you. Depends on what your upgrade path may look like though. While X++ reports will migrate to 2012, it may be easier to go with SSRS reports for you. For AX 2009 financial reporting, there is a tool called FRX. FRX is not exclusive to AX 2009, but was also used with other Dynamics products like GP, so Great Plains. And Management Reporter 2012 came out in 2012 and has really been the go-to financial report tool ever since. Even though the earliest version is called Management Reporter 2012, it does work with AX 2009. So if you're on 2009 and you've been wanting Management Reporter, you can use it. And a lot of people think because it says 2012 that you can't, but you absolutely can. One thing to note with Management Reporter is that it should be used for your audit level type reports. So these would be used for your month end, your year end reporting, but shouldn't be used for frequent inquiries to check on things like cash flow, open invoices, things like that. That should really be more your SSRS and ad hoc reporting options. So speaking of ad hoc reports, 4 quick ad hoc reports in AX 2009. There's an out-of-the-box tool called Report Builder. You can find this from the AX menu under BI Tools. It gives users access to all the business data within the system, and you can drag and drop fields into the table to create a template. You can save the template as your favorites for frequent use. One caveat to mention here is that you need to set security access for each report. So you don't want to forget to do that if there are reports and data that you don't want everybody to see. Lastly, for 2009, I want to talk about exposing reports. So you can post reports within Enterprise Portal and in the Role Center. Also, you can use SSAS, which is the SQL Server Analytics Services. So this is data cubes that you can turn on out of the box that can help measure KPIs and other analytical reports. While it is out of the box, we do typically see modifications because each company and industry have different requirements. If you were able to use everything out of the box, then all of our companies would be really standard, but we know that's not the case. Everyone has their differentiator. So apologies, this is a lot of information and a lot of me talking, but as I mentioned, we will have a session where we're really digging into it, but try to absorb as much as you can, and again, feel free to send in your questions so that we can help you do this. Okay, so now I'm going to hop over to AX 2012. So all of your out-of-the-box reports in 2012 use SSRS. If you're upgrading from 2009 to 2012, all of your X++ reports will migrate. So don't lose sleep over that. But SSRS should be used going forward for all of your on-the-fly reporting needs and any customizations. In 2012, you should be exclusively using Management Reporter for those audit level financial reports. Management Reporter, just to dig into that a little bit more, provides a breadth of financial reporting flexibility, has a robust set of features for designing and distributing financial reports. You can be adding fancy headers and logos and all that kind of stuff to really create beautiful income statements, budget to actual reports, all those, as I mentioned, audit level reports that are going to be going to upper management. And I really recommend you taking a look at Management Reporter. Companies frequently use the third-party tool Atlas for your Excel type reporting and import exports. At the end of the day, let's be honest, that Excel is probably the largest ERP out there because everyone uses Excel to be gathering data. So you want to be using Excel in conjunction with your ERP and importing and exporting that data. In 2012, Microsoft added the Excel add-in tool. So if you're in 2012, that's the tab up at the top of your Excel form that will allow you to import and export data. At that point, it was initially thought that it might put Atlas out of business, but it didn't. Atlas is continually updating and adding new tools to their functionality, and AX has really stayed at the status quo with their Excel add-in feature. It's still great for things like loading in journal entries or updating pricing tables, but Atlas really has pulled ahead with some of that more complicated import-export, ad hoc data needs. So we do recommend them. If you need to use data import and export functionality, both in 2009 and 2012, if you have any tools that you might be importing or exporting from, Microsoft recommends using the AIF functionality. This tool imports data as if you're manually entering it onto the screen in your system. So this means all of the validations that you have will work when you do the import. So things like number sequence. If someone tries to load in a new employee and doesn't use the correct number sequence, they will get that error message as if they were typing it in on the screen. So that's really helpful in making sure that you're not just shoving data into the database and maybe really messing up that nice, clean, beautiful data that you already have in there with the validations. There are standard AIF services for creating sales orders, sales order lines, invoices, etc. That are out of the box, but you can also create custom services as well. And that will allow you to create, to import things above the standard services. An awesome tool in 2012 that you can start using is Power BI. Any of you that have heard me talk about Power BI before know that I absolutely love it. And as a previous AX user before consulting, I would have killed for Power BI. So definitely give that some thought. With 2012 Power BI, you will have to log in separately as it is a web-based platform. So you'll be logging in, but it will be able to read the data from your AX 2012. Power BI can start to save you a lot of money in customizing reports. You don't need a developer to be making SSRS reports when you can use this friendly, it's really user-friendly tool to get analytics, KPIs, graphs and charts, things like that. Power BI lets the user do that. So it's a place to save money and also give your employees some hands-on ability to be reviewing and analyzing data. There's nothing employees want more than to be able to get their data and see what's going on. The one downside to Power BI with 2012 is that when users log in, they potentially have full data access. So if you want to limit access to certain Power BI users, you'll need to create security roles in Power BI to control that. Completely doable. Unless you have some crazy security options, I don't think it should shy you away from it, but it is something to consider and an extra thing to maintain. Just want everyone to be aware of that. So like with 2009, you can expose reports with SSAS, Enterprise Portal, and role centers. I do want to mention here that there is a common misconception with role centers. You may assign a user, say with a finance manager role center, but you can always make adjustments to the KPIs and reports that that user is seeing from right within AX. They don't have to just be seeing the out-of-the-box stuff. There's something like 30 plus areas to be adding in KPIs, different areas within the dashboard. It's very flexible to give users exactly what they need to see. Okay. So our next topic here is to talk about D365 reporting. The big thing to note is out-of-the-box reports have been reduced by 30% in comparison to 2012. I don't want you to get scared by this. The upside is that Microsoft is promoting self-reporting and has integrated Power BI within D365. So now you can create all the reports that you need and you don't have to log in separately to Power BI. It will be right within your D365 screen. This is awesome. Another added bonus is that Management Reporter is integrated in D365. You're not going to have to be logging in to a separate Management Reporter area. In D365, the label for Management Reporter is actually called Financial Reporting, but when you select one of the reports, it will open up and it brings up Management Reporter. Okay. A change in D365 is that you're no longer using AIF for those data integrations. You'll be using data entities. So if you've created any custom document services that I was just talking about with AIF in 2009 or 2012, you can migrate them to D365 and they will continue to work. So don't fret if you have a plan to do that or if you have been doing that. So I want to share with you next the kind of roadmap and thoughts that Microsoft has published about reporting in D365. And they break it down into two sides, the system of intelligence and the system of integration. And the reason I really want to be going through this with you guys is because everyone at some point, you know, that 75% of you on this call that are in 2009 and 2012 will have to be looking at the vision of upgrading in the next few years. So want you to have this in the back of your mind. So we have the system of intelligence and the system of integration. The system of intelligence provides business insights and lets users proactively take intelligent actions all within the D365 ERP experience. So as some examples here, there are analytical workspaces, and these workspaces will help users navigate through different trends and patterns. You can quickly make decisions and take relevant actions without leaving the reporting area. There's intelligent business processes. So the processes offer suggestions and recommendations based on a combination of business rules and artificial intelligence. The financial statements, as I talked about, they have the kind of modern financial reporting of the integrated Management Reporter to let you slice and dice all of your ledger account balances, subledger data, and drill down across companies. You also have rich and modern business documents. So those documents, like your invoices and statements, can be an extension of your brand image. There's configurable rules for printing, emailing, sending those multi-style and branding type documents that look really beautiful. Okay. On the flip side, the ERP system might be an important source of data in your organization, but you may be using multiple systems kind of spread out across different companies, and it may just be a portion of the data that you have. In these cases, you can integrate the systems by using the service integration principles that they have that I was mentioning before. So you can use the Open Data Protocol, also called OData. You can use the integration suite. And then there's DIXF, which is the data import and export framework. So you have lots of options for really what you want to be using D365 for operations for. So the comparison really is, as a system of intelligence, you're using D365 to provide reporting and insights embedded right within the application. As a system of integration, you're using the system to integrate with several other systems. Okay. So getting to our next area here, this is the comparison that Microsoft has gone ahead and published. So you can see on the system of intelligence, we have D365 in the center, and it's sending information out. This little yellow icon is Power BI, and you're able to send information out to those, and you can get reporting data and other systems data into it. So that's really centering around your ERP, where if you're using it more as a data warehouse or a system of integration, you kind of have your database in the middle, and you have your ERP and your Power BI and different things kind of to the outside, sending out and bringing in information. Get us to the next area. So this slide is the end-to-end analytical platform that Microsoft has published. When we send out the recording of this session for you to have, we will also send you a link to this white paper that they've issued. In this case, you're seeing really big picture what Microsoft hopes this D365 will be doing. So you have all your users at the top using web pages, using phones, using laptops, tablets, making sure that your visualizations with dashboards, your ad hoc Excel, your Power BI reporting can go out to the users on any of those platforms. And that's why D365 is web-based now. Your collaboration, being able to share, put out to your dashboards and portals, it's all there. A note here is that the big picture and some of these other companies that they may be talking about on here are from the Azure Marketplace. They're tools that they may recommend that you're using. It's not all within your D365 for operations. So if you're really thinking big picture, where can I use the best tools, and what is Microsoft really thinking and hoping long term for this product, this is what you want to take a look at, and we will hook you up with that white paper so you can understand that a little better. Okay. This is another piece of information from Microsoft. They call it the positioning of their front-end tools, and it gives you a good idea of all the different types of reporting that there is and where they may recommend that you use those specific tools. So you have kind of your power users who may be looking at that Power BI, big data analytics, data mining, that kind of stuff. And then you have your more casual users who may be wanting to get some ad hoc information off the dashboard, or where SSRS comes in is those kind of perfect final reports that they may need to get on with their day and their composition of things. So when we send this out, take a good look at it. Think about where your company and even parts of your company may fit in on this chart, and take a look at some of those tools that they may recommend. So this is a summary for you because I just talked a whole lot with a lot of complicated information. So this is a summary form based on each AX option, so 2009, 2012, and then D365. And on your left side, you're going to see all the different types of reports that you may need. So forms, financials, your Excel integrations, and what we recommend that is used for those areas. So when you're looking, say, at forms, you know, AX 2009 is that X++, AOT. 2012 and D365, you're looking to use SSRS. Financials, want to get you over to Management Reporter all the way through. Tabular reports, again, starting with X++ for 2009, moving to SSRS. And in D365, you can use Power BI in addition to SSRS. Your ad hoc reporting, always Excel as a great option. In 2009, you do have that report builder that I spoke about. And in D365, you have Power BI as an additional tool. So really, you're seeing a lot of Power BI and Excel through this. The Excel integration, definitely want to take a look at. If you're not using Excel, Addin, data import export, I highly recommend after this section that you take a look at it. Your inbound, outbound data integrations, that AIF, but now data entities. Analytics on the client. So this is when you're logged into the system. Role Center is really the way to go in AX 2009 and 2012. I have NA for D365 because it's all online and browser-based. So when you're online, you have the options in 2009 and 2012 for Enterprise Portal, and then you have workspaces with using Power BI in D365. And your data warehouse, we always recommend that SSAS that I was talking about. So this is a good comparison chart for you to use, and hopefully is a good summary of everything that I just blurted about for the past 40 minutes. The next item I want to talk about is upgrade considerations. So as we talked about before, you're upgrading either from 2009 or 2012 to D365. It's an ultimate path that will happen for everyone in the next few years. So things to start considering. Are you using FRX with your 2009 system? If you are, it is time to move to Management Reporter. Even if you're not planning to upgrade to D365 for a while, that's fine. But we do highly recommend that you at least get over to using Management Reporter. It will help, really help get you on the right path. Your custom X++ reports will not translate to D365. So they moved from 2009 to 2012, but they're not going to move all the way to D365. The standard reports have been reduced by 30%. Is what you're using still available? You may want to check it out, get a demo. And as I said, don't think of it as a super scary thing because you can easily create the reports that you need. And they did not get rid of anything that is like business critical. You know, there's just a lot of reports and, you know, different ways to slice and dice that Microsoft had as standard that you may just need to do a couple extra steps to do. Sending and receiving data with AIF is no longer available. It's replaced by those data entities. Document web services are not available. There are those custom data services that I talked about are upgradable though. So if there's anything you want to continue using before moving over to the new way, you might want to write that as a custom data service. SSAS is still a good way to consolidate data from multiple sources, but Power BI will do the same. So Microsoft recommends creating data warehouses, combining legacy data and D365 data as part of your upgrade path. They are targeting right now with data upgrade tools, targeting moving master data and open transactions directly to D365, but then recommending if you want all your other old data to be creating those data warehouses, and then you're able to combine and still report off of them. So it's a little confusing, but really they're saying let's target and move your master data, the open transactions, but we'll still give you a way to access some of the older data. Okay, so I'm going to hop over to D365 while I still have a couple minutes and just show you one or two things that might intrigue you about what an upgrade over there might look like and how to use it. Okay, so for those of you who haven't seen D365 yet, this is what your home page and dashboard look like. In the center of the screen, these are all workspaces. I am logged in as a as a super user, so to speak. So I'm having access right now to all of these workspaces. Based on your security roles, they will be tied down a little bit. So what I want to show you is if we go into these workspaces, there's a lot of KPIs and an area for a Power BI integration that will give you everything a role center did and more. So I'm in the recruitment management area. On the left side, you're going to have KPIs, and your KPIs are going to be just, one or two numbers. This is saying I have 6 aging projects, I have 22 open positions, I have 5 applicants in my inbox, and anytime that I select one of these links, it will bring me the list of data. So if I select this application inbox here, it's going to process my request and open up the list that I may have. So if you're logging in the morning and seeing this and you're like, oh goodness, I need to, process these 5 applications, I click the number and here I am, here are my 5 different applicants, and I can move forward with processing them as I need to. So that's kind of similar to the role center that you were seeing in 2009 and 2012. In the center, you're looking at grid view type scenarios. So they have standard out of the box. Apparently I don't have much going on today, but I can see all the projects. I can see my interviews, interviews for my projects, everything like that. So here's all my different projects that I might be working on. And then from here, what's nice is there are quick links as if you were in the module that you're able to start working on from here. So if I was in the recruitment module, I would have the ability to see all the applications for this job, do a job ad, change the status. What is a big difference from the role center to these workspaces is that these functionalities that were typically only within the module are now in the workspace so that you can start doing that work. And even across the top in our menu item here, I have the option to add a new recruitment project, do a new applicant or an application. So it's letting me really work within the space that I have without having to navigate through the different modules and different links. So I think this is really handy, not just for your KPIs and reporting, but for letting your users really function day to day. Now, one area, and again, I'll dig into this a lot further at AXUG because you can see right here, it says, chart has no data at the moment. But this metric area that's in workspaces is what will link with your Power BI. So I have 2 set up right here. So average days to recruit. I can do drop downs by job function or by department. I also am looking at my applications by source. So where are they coming from? And when I log into my Power BI, it's going to create this chart for me right on the screen. So that's a really handy Power BI integration tool that you're able to use. So if you're on D365 and you're not using this yet, highly recommend that you take a look into getting this working. And if it's something you're looking forward to and already have Power BI, it's awesome because you don't have to have Power BI and AX open at the same time. It's all one screen. Okay. The other area that I wanted to show you is the Excel add-in change in D365. So for example, if I go to accounts payable and I go to my payment journal, one thing that I am able to do in any of these type areas is in the top right, there's this box looking icon and it says open in Microsoft Office. When I select that button, depending on if it, and the system knows if it should be in Word or Excel or PowerPoint, it gives you the options to open it there or export to. So I've gone ahead and prepped this so that you didn't have to wait for all of the loading here. But I went ahead and opened this vendor payment journal in Excel. On the right-hand side, the Microsoft Dynamics add-in data connector has appeared here. It says my name, so this is the login. It may ask you on occasion to log in again, totally fine. And then in the Excel form, it's giving you all of the different information for this vendor payment journal. Where I think this comes in handy and where I love to train people using 365 is that instead of having to manually enter line by line and doing all your different clicks within the journal, you can very quickly and copy and paste functionality, do it right within Excel, and then publish it back into your journal. So I know a lot of accounting folks that love this option. So in our right side here, we have that publish button. So if I wanted to make changes either to line items that are currently here or adding additional line items, I can do that. I can start entering data. So, you know, if I do 9/22/17, I'm gonna start adding in different, I don't have to necessarily add in a new voucher number because that will be automatically assigned when we push it back in, because as I mentioned, this is still using the validation functionality and general tools. So, but I can go ahead and select my vendor, and you can see when I clicked on that account type field, on the right side, we're getting the values that are allowed. So it's kind of pre-filtering for us here. So I can select vendor and that will appear there. I could change it to bank or a fixed asset, whatever it may be. So very handy. At any time, I can also design in Excel here. So design would be if you want to add additional columns and get additional information out of the system to help you maybe make some decisions about what to put in this journal, or if you're loading it right into your sales table, whatever it may be, you can select design and it's going to retrieve all the different entity names that may be relevant to this payment journal, and you can start adding in your different fields and sorting the way that they may go. So you can see here I have vendor payment lines. I can click on the edit button and it's going to give me all my different options that I may have for different fields that I want to add in here. So that's really cool, very handy. And when you're done, you select publish, and when you're back in your payment journal, it will all load and be there for you. If there are any errors, it will tell you when you're loading the data in, when you hit that publish button. So if you have non-validated data, if you have any other issues, it's going to tell you. It's not going to force the data in, which is a very good thing. So I don't have much time left here, so I just want to kind of end by saying that I hope if you're at AXUG that you'll come to our sessions throughout the week. Ellipse has a couple sessions, but specifically this one, we'd love to actually open up Management Reporter with you, open up Power BI, and dig in deeper to how you can use and create the tools themselves. If you're interested in this or any other topics, please feel free to reach out to us. Again, please submit any questions that you may have. I don't see many questions, but that either means I explained it very well or it was a little overwhelming. So I hope it was the latter. And anyone that did submit questions, we will be emailing you to get out to you shortly. And thanks for taking your Friday afternoon to spend with us, and hope you have a fabulous rest of the day and weekend. So I will leave the session open for a few more minutes so that you can type in any questions that you may have. And other than that, we'll either see you on a new Dynamics Coach session or at AXUG soon. Have a good one, everybody.